Some of my lightsaber builds form completely in my mind, pretty much from the get-go, every single part. Some of them are just based off of like a single idea and they evolve as I go, but they still stick to that idea as being the main focus. This one was a multi-step stream of consciousness sort of build. About a month ago, I sold one of my favorite lightsaber builds, my braced thin neck. But the collector that wanted it was so emphatic and so enthusiastic, I couldn't argue. I felt the sting the second I agreed, and passing it over to its new owner, I felt like I, sent a family member away, kind of thing. Not in a bad way, but like, sending a kid off to college or something. But I wanted to make a thin neck part to it. It had been a few years, and I've learned plenty in my lightsaber building time. And especially, absolutely, the Vire small maul with part of the Warden sleeve cut down, reshaped, and fitted inside instead of sitting outside is one of my most favorite things I figured out how to do. And since I'd learned so much since the first time I experimented, I figured now's a good time to do it again. So this is the genesis of this build. This pommel I wanted to do again. Now, admittedly, it was going to be mounted the other way around, but as soon as I got the cap, and these three parts are from Vire, and the belt clip is from Saberbay. Don't you dare. Stay. Thank you. The belt clip is from Saberbay. A little precariously balanced, but that's the way things work. I put it together this way. I'm like, oh, sold. Then I started figuring out the rest of it. I had a Vire Obi-Wan grenade sitting around, and I had a few other parts and ideas. I just started thinking and experimenting, and I also had ordered, of course, the Warden sleeve that you see here in order to create the inset. And then just ideas sort of like, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I try this? And I had wanted to use Corvus's Schema 4 emitter assembly, which you see modified with an extra part from Eidylon here in the front. But I just ordered pieces, and then I just scrambled things around and just continued playing and experimenting. And then finally, I came up with this heavy back-ended, wasp-waisted piece after going back and looking at a lot of Ralph McQuarrie's original drawings, his concept ideas for the lightsabers in the mid-1970s. His lightsabers were short. I mean, they were only the length of the back end here. And modern lightsabers, especially if you use drop-in cores like I do, I'm going to put one in here eventually. This button's a placeholder fake. They've got to be longer. Plus, I prefer being able to switch single hand, dual hand, or long hand grip when I use my lightsabers, because I have extensive swordsmanship stuff in the background. From the many decades I had been doing Renaissance Festival stuff and martial arts stuff and stuff, and just I'm surprised I still have all my finger stuff. So I tend to go for these hilts that range in the 12 to 16 inch size. But this is just so many variations on combinations, then finally settling on things. And one of the last things that I settled on was the rounded ends for the two remaining of the four staves of the Warden, because I had cut one about 3 millimeters shorter than the other. So one synced up almost perfectly with this Corvus accent ring, and the other one left a gap. So I figured, okay, rounding them, drilling them, and mounting screws so that way it would stay put, it gave it a softer look instead of going all the way down. And honestly, there's sort of a retro sci-fi feel, primarily because Ralph McQuarrie's drawings are from half a century ago. So I wanted to kind of emulate that feeling of that older elegance, that sense of this being, pardon me, a very, very elegant weapon from a much brighter age. An age of adventure, but an age of civility. So, here we are. Originally inspired by wanting to replace my braced thin neck, but evolving into my little love letter to Ralph McQuarrie's designs. Very comfortable piece in the hand. Sits beautifully. Controls sit exactly where they need to be. Balanced nicely. So, yeah. Will I ever stop missing the braced thin neck? Probably not. Am I very satisfied with what's sitting in its place on the shelf? Absolutely.